guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's 9 o'clock. It's time for a Hidden Gems. Now, this is where I take a particular trick or idea or routine or concept from a book or a online lecture or an online academy or a masterclass or a Penguin Live, and I highlight why it's so good. And I think that's really important, and I talk about this all the time on this channel, but we stand on the shoulders of giants, and it's very, very easy to look for the latest and greatest trick that's only just come out, that thing that if we buy it, it'll make us famous, right? And we forget about all the amazing magic that's come out from years gone by. It's that old expression, isn't it? If you want something that nobody's going to find out about, put it in a book. And it's very, very true. I've spoken to a lot of new magicians, and by new magicians, I mean people that have come into magic in maybe the last 12 months to 24 months. And a lot of the older books and a lot of the older DVDs they've never even heard of. And it's such a shame because there's so much amazing magic in those books that, they probably aren't even aware of. So today I want to highlight, this is going to be a very quick Hidden Gems, but I want to highlight to you a routine by Roy Walton. Now, Roy Walton is an incredible card magician, and he's published some incredible card magic over the years. But the one trick that I want to specifically tell you about is Oil and Queens. So I'm going to be talking to you about Oil and Queens, which is an oil and water, a one-phase oil and water routine with a kicker ending. And it's great because you can get into it from a shuffle deck of cards in use. You don't need any gimmicks. You don't need any extras. You don't need anything like that. You're good to go anytime, anywhere. You just need to go into the routine, so to speak. So you just need to grab some cards out the deck and you're good to go. So I'm going to, before I talk any further, I'm going to do a performance of Oil and Queens by Roy Walton. Let's have a look at it, and then when I've performed it for you, I'll talk about why it's so good.
Matt, how you doing, Matt?
I'm good.
Give those a very quick shuffle. Check them out. Make sure it's a real deck. It is a real deck, but take your time.
I think I'm getting better.
You do really well. I'm very impressed. I really am. So there's a trick in magic. And I'm going to take a few cards out of this deck that you shuffle to do this trick. The trick is called Oil and Water. And it's based on the experiment that you probably did as a kid. Because as a kid, when you were in school, you probably did that experiment called Oil and Water, which is where you take oil and water and you put them into a container, and the oil rises to the top, or the water does, or something. I'm not a scientist, I don't know. But something happens to the oil and water. They separate, right?
Yeah.
You must have seen that experiment in school. Yeah?
Yeah.
I fell asleep during it, but I got the gist. Now, the same sort of thing happens with playing cards. Let me show you. I'm going to take a few cards out here, okay? From the deck that you shuffled and you examined. And that, however many cards are here isn't important. What's important is the colour of the cards that I took out. Because I alternated red and black. A black card, a red card, black card, red card, black card, red card, black card, red card, all the way through. Right? Okay. And it's very important that you can see genuinely that these are alternating all the way through. Because if I put 4 cards down here, we're going to have a red card and a black card and a red card and a black card. And if I take that red card, black card, red card, black card, and I switch the 2 middle cards, we're going to have 2 reds and 2 blacks. Likewise, if I take these, we're obviously left with these cards, and if I switch the 2 middle ones, we're going to have 2 reds, 2 blacks. So we've got 2 reds, 2 reds, 2 blacks, 2 blacks, right? Mm-hmm. Now, the idea of oil and water is that you make the reds and the blacks change places. In other words, you separate them. Just like oil rising to the top, that's what happens with the cards. You see, yeah. You give a little twist like this, and now over here, I've got all the black cards.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I've got all the black cards. So if I've got all the black cards there, what do I have over here?
The red.
Yeah, except the thing is, this is magic trick. This is not science, this is magic. So if I was going to do science, these wouldn't be the red cards. These would be the 4 queens. Take a deep breath. Let it out. You know you want to.
Okay, so that was the performance of the original Roy Walton. Start again. That was the performance of the original Roy Walton Oil and Water. Now, if you want to learn this, you can actually get it from library.com. Jon Racherbaumer wrote a book an ebook which you can download immediately, which has got the original Roy Walton Oil and Water in there, plus a lot of different variations. But the original is amazing. And one of the reasons it's so amazing is because it's not technically very difficult to do. You can do it anytime, anywhere. You just need to grab a deck of cards. You say that you're going to take a few cards out and you're good to go. And they think that you're doing an oil and water sequence. And just when they think that you're doing an oil and water sequence, you then pull the rug underneath their feet and you then go, well, hang on a minute. No, where the heck have the queens come from, right? And it's a really nice kicker. It doesn't require a table. It can be done walk around in the spectator's hands. It's a great trick to have at the beginning of a card set because it's nice and quick, it's nice and visual, and it's also got that kind of kicker element that you want to have in Magic, or at least I want to have. One thing I love about card Magic is when you can include a kicker element in there. Just when the spectators think that things are going one way, they start going in a different way. So yeah, I mean, Oil and Queens is just brilliant. Now I want to give a shout out to Jon Racherbaumer because in the ebook he's got lots of different variations of this, but one of the variations is called Vanishing Oil and Water. Now this takes the original Oil and Water plot and it takes it to a different direction. It takes it, right, there's a negative and there's a positive. So first of all, the negative is it can no longer be done from a shuffle deck of cards in use. It becomes a packet trick that you would carry around in a packet trick wallet, right? Because one of the big advantages of the original, if I didn't mention it, is everything's examinable because it's a regular deck. So you're left with a regular pack of cards. You're left with 4 queens that you can immediately use to go into whatever it is that you want to go into, right? Like immediately. With this, it's more of a packet trick. So you have to bring it out as a standalone packet trick. And it's got a really nice ending to it. You'll recognize the Oil and Queens concept, but Jon has combined it with gaffed cards to create a really strong end sequence that nobody ever sees coming. The disadvantage is the cards at the end can't be examined. With the original Oil and Queens, the cards can all be examined because it's a regular deck. The cards can't be examined with this deck. Half of the cards can, the other half can't. It's not too much of an issue, to be perfectly honest, because they don't need to be examined. If you do it in the way that I'm going to show you a performance of this in a second, and if you do it in the way that I suggest you perform it, you deal 4 cards into the spectator's hands. You then show that the cards have changed in your hands, and then they turn over the cards in their hands. And because they're holding half the cards, it feels like everything's examinable. It's called Vanishing Oil and Queens. And it's part of the Oil and Queens ebook by Jon Racherbaumer from library.com. I'm going to show you that handling as well, just for sake of completeness.
I'll give it a go. I'm here with Matt. How you doing, Matt?
I'm good.
Cool. This just uses a few cards. Now, it doesn't matter how many cards are here. It doesn't matter what the color of the backs of the cards are. None of that's important. All that's important are the faces of the cards. Okay. And the value of the cards aren't important. The suits of the cards aren't important. But what is important is the color. I want you to see that they alternate red and black. I took a whole bunch of cards randomly from various decks and I just had them alternate red black. So we have a red card and a black card, a red card and a black card, a red card and a black card and a red card. You get the idea, right?
Yeah.
So if I take these cards and do this, that's a red, that's a black, that's a red, that's a black, correct?
Yeah.
Red, black, red, black. And if I pick them up and I switch the 2 middle ones, we have red, red, black, black. Likewise over here, we are in exactly the same situation because these cards that are left over here, we have a red card and black card, a red card, black card. If I switch the 2 middle ones, we have 2 reds and 2 blacks next to each other. 2 reds, 2 reds, 2 blacks, 2 blacks. Watch. No moves. All I do is this. And that's all I have to do. And when I do that, now over here, I've got all of the red cards. Mm-hmm. And if I've got all of the red cards over here, what do you think's over here, my friend? Logically, if the red cards are over here.
Logically.
The black cards, right?
The black ones.
But that would be sleight of hand. I promised you something slightly better. So if I do this, and this, and this. Now over here, there's no red cards, there's no black cards, there's nothing but blank cards.
Oh my God.
Which is great. And I understand how that works. It's how these cards are also blank that I really don't understand.
What the hell? Well, that was unexpected.
So there you go. That's the Oil and Queens, and that's Vanishing Oil and Queens. As you can see, they both have their pros and their cons. I think there's something. I think I prefer the original Oil and Queens, but there's a lot to be said about the Vanishing Oil and Queens. I love the fact that they're seeing all of these red cards and black cards, they're seeing all of the faces, they're seeing all of the backs. They're absolutely convinced that it's just a printed deck of cards. And you're setting them up for this moment, which is that there's going to be an oil and water style routine happening. And then all of a sudden, every single card turns blank. And it's like, well, hang on a minute, where the hell did that come from? And then you put the cards away and it's an almost instant reset. If you like packet tricks, it's an absolutely wonderful packet trick that you can kind of do very, very easily in the spectator's hands, walk around. It's got a lot of merits. So there you go. That's a couple of different variations of Oil and Queens, both of which you might want to look into. They're both really good. It just depends on which way you want to go with it, to be perfectly honest. But what I advise you to do is go and get the ebook, because if you get the ebook by Jon Racherbaumer, he goes through those two variations plus a whole bunch of others as well. But if you've never explored the Oil and Queens concept and you want to have a really nice impromptu routine that you can do from a shuffled deck of cards, then this is something that you really should look into. It is absolutely the definition of a hidden gem. So there you go, guys. That's another video in the bag. Do me a favor, let me know what you think in the comments down below. You want to see more videos like this, all you got to do is like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. If you haven't already joined the Netrix, please do so. It's www.thenetrix.com. Now, I'm going to be back again tomorrow with a stack load more videos, so make sure that you stick around. I'm going to be back again soon, but thanks very much for watching. My name's Craig from Magic